you all are well and safe at home. I think you have gone through my videos which I have uploaded, and I have sent you the link about the nutrition in man, human being and amoeba. So today's video, it will be discussed about the transportation in plants and animals. So keep watching my video, because in the latter part I will be describing about the excretion part of plants and animals. So if you want to know more about the life processes and the further chapters of class 10 biology, then you have to subscribe my channel, you have to like my content if you like it, and you can share with your friends so that more and more students get benefited from these topics. Thank you. So children, today's first topic is transportation. Transportation in plants and animals. So at first I will describe about transportation in plants. Now first is, what is transportation? Transportation is the movement of glucose, oxygen and other organic and inorganic substances from one part of the body to the other part. Okay, so this is internal transport of materials or transportation of materials. Now there are various organs associated for transportation in various plants and animals. Now in case of unicellular organisms, transportation takes place by simple diffusion method. Now you already know about diffusion. As they are contact with the environment, and they can diffuse the substances with the environment. The second is the multicellular plants and animals, but they are very simple. In case of very simple multicellular plants and animals also, diffusion is the mode of transportation. Now, what's about the complex multicellular organisms like we, the human being, and many other animals and plants? So these type of multicellular complex organisms, including multicellular plants and animals, we all have a specific transport mechanism or a transport system. Now, why we need a specific transport system? The answer is because simple diffusion method cannot meet the demand of the components in the cell, because every cell in the body of complex multicellular organisms are not directly in contact with the environment, so they are not exposed, and therefore specific transport systems are developed in plants and animals. Now, what is the necessity of transport system in plants? Now, transport of substances is very important in plants. Now, transport takes place from source to sink. Source means the site of production. Sink is the site of utilization. So, transport of material takes place in the plants from the site of source to sink. Next come, sink is actually the storage organs. Next come the second point. Plant absorb the water and mineral like nitrogen, phosphorus, etc. from the soil, okay, by the roots. Now these are needed in the leaves, which are the main site for synthetic activity. So hence a transport system is always required for the plants, okay, in the leaves to transport all these components. Third is, food that is synthesized in the leaves need to be distributed, because you know that leaves are the kitchen of the plants. So here, when the food is synthesized in the leaves, they need to be distributed through all the parts of the body of the plant, including the root tip. So that's why transport system is required. Now, how this transport system work in plants? Now, plants have two methods of transport system, two modes of transport system. First mode is xylem transport mode. Second is phloem transport. So what is xylem transport? Xylem is the system to absorb and transport water and mineral from from roots to leaves. And what about phloem? Phloem is the system of transport system to distribute the food produced by the leaves to all the parts. So these are the two main mechanism of transport system in plants. Now we will study about the xylem transport system. Now what is xylem transport system? The xylem tissue, they actually form the water conducting system throughout the plant body. Now the main two elements of the xylem are trachea and vessel. They are present in the root and stem and leaves, and all these tracheae and vessels are interconnected to each other to form a continuous system of water conducting channels. Now these water and mineral are absorbed by the root here, transported to the root xylem, then to the stem xylem, and thereafter to the leaf. Now you see, as I told you, that the xylem has two elements, trachea and vessels, which are interconnected throughout the plant body, and they form a continuous system of water conducting channels. Now here I have written one term, ascent of sap. Now what does it mean? Now during the movement of water by the xylem, upward movement of water from the xylem, along with the water, you see mineral salts which are dissolved in the water is also taken by the root here, and it also is conducted by the plant to the aerial parts like the leaves, stems, flowers, branches. So this upward movement of water and mineral salts from the root to the upper part or the aerial part of the plants against the gravitational force is called ascent of sap. So understood what is ascent of sap? Next come what causes this force. What are the causative forces of ascent of sap? Actually, in the previous earlier days, scientists thought of some other reasons why this ascent of sap take place. So, but now the various type of activities are performed and experiments are done, and the scientists, they consider two forces to be very important for the ascent of sap. That is, first is root pressure. Now during the night time there is no photosynthesis, so root pressure is the only main mode of the transport of water, that is the ascent of sap. And next is transpiration pull. Now transpiration pull, root pressure, these are very important, two important causative factors for ascent of sap. And another is the force of adhesion, the adhesion of the water molecule, okay, with the wall of the xylem. Now first I will describe about root pressure. Now what does root pressure mean? Now root pressure is a force which is exerted within the root of a plant. Now this root pressure, it is exudates the water from the cut stem. Now what happens actually, see, this prompted the view that root pressure causes upward movement of water through the xylem vessel. So root pressure is the only cause by which the water moves upward through the xylem vessel. So the root pressure may serve as the important factor for the ascent of saps in all herbaceous plants, but it is unlikely enough to move water in a very tall tree. So root pressure is not enough for a tall tree like a banyan or a coconut. In that cases, root pressure cannot serve the purpose. For that, transpiration pull helps the upward movement of water. Now what is transpiration pull? Now there is a steady movement of water from soil into the xylem of the root. Now these xylem vessels, okay, they always continuously, they take large amount of water in a continuous column from the root tip to the mesophyll cell of the leaves. So you can see here I have drawn one diagram for, you can see it can explain, actually it explains the translocation part that I am going to describe. Transpiration and translocation are two main transport systems. Now in the transpiration, that is the transpiration pull. Okay, now here lot of water is lost from the leaves due to transpiration pull. Due to transpiration, you already know that during photosynthesis, plant loses a large amount of water from the stomatal pore. Now this water is lost through the leaves due to transpiration, and it is consumed in the process of photosynthesis, and this water column becomes greatly stretched. But water column does not break. Why? Can you tell me water column cannot break? Because of the cohesion force. Cohesion force of between what? Between the subsequent water molecules. So there is a cohesive force between the water molecules, as well as there is an adhesive force between the water molecule and the wall of the xylem vessels. So these two forces plays an important role in the ascent of sap. Next, the transport of this water in the daytime. You know that photosynthesis is continuous during the daytime. So majority of the water during the daytime is generally pulled by the transpiration pull force. So it is the major driving force for the ascent of sap during the daytime. And during the night time, as transpiration is not there, means as photosynthesis is not present, so root pressure is more effective at the night time. So remember this point, very important. You can note down in your NCERT book. So during daytime, when stomata are open, the transpiration pull is the major driving force for the ascent of sap. But in the night time, the root pressure is more effective. Now, what are the importance of transpiration? Why does transpiration take place? Now, you see that large amount of water is lost from the leaves. So, you can say that transpiration is a necessary evil. It is an evil because it is lost. Large amount of water is lost. But it is necessary also, because why it is necessary, that we are going to discuss. Now, you see, transpiration is important because it helps in the absorption of water and mineral from the soil. The first point. So, it helps in the absorption of water and mineral from the soil. Okay. Second is, it helps in the upward movement of water and dissolved mineral from the root to the leaves. That is ascent of sap. Clear. Third point is, it regulates the temperature as it cools the leaves and the surrounding air. Fourth is, it helps in getting rid of excess water from the plant body. Okay, only 1 to 2% of the water is absorbed, that is taken by the plant from the xylem, but remaining water is lost. So only 1 to 2% of the water is absorbed, is used by the plants in photosynthesis and various other metabolic activities of the plant. So these are the 4 points why transpiration is important. Okay. So next topic, that is translocation. Now see, transportation, here you see in plants xylem is carrying the water, but on the other hand the food which is produced in the leaves of the green leaves of the plant need to be transported to the other storage tissues of the plant for their metabolic activity, growth, okay, and many other repair and many other activities. So the transport of food from the leaves takes place by the term translocation. So translocation is the transport of food from leaves to different parts of the plant. Now you see here the food manufactured in the mesophyll cell of the leaves during photosynthesis, it enters the seed tube. Seed tube, you know, seed tube, companion cell, phloem, okay, parenchyma, phloem fiber. So all these are the elements of phloem. So this food which is manufactured in the mesophyll cell of the leaf during photosynthesis, it enters the seed tube cell. Remember, seed tube do not have any nucleus. So the adjacent companion cell helps in the regulating the function of the seed tube. Okay, here very important 2 questions may arise, that name any 2 cells in the living world, in plant and animal, that do not have nucleus. One is the mammalian RBC. Okay, natural mammalian RBC lack nucleus. Another is the seed tube cells in phloem tissue. Now you see what I was saying, that so during the food manufactured during the mesophyll, in the photosynthesis, okay, in the mesophyll cell, it entered the seed tube. Where is the tube present? In the phloem. So you see this food which is entering the mesophyll cell, from the mesophyll cell to the seed tube, is in the form of sucrose. Okay, and it is transported as a dilute aqueous solution in the plant parts, because unless it becomes dilute, it cannot be transported or absorbed by the plant. So the moment, okay, this movement of this nutrient, that is the sucrose in the dilute form, may be in the upward direction or maybe in the downward direction. Because you know, growth, development, everything takes place in all the directions of the plant body. So beside food molecule like carbohydrate, amino acid and hormone, so all the other organic acids and other metabolites are also synthesized, are also transported through phloem. Even so translocation takes place by the seed tube. Next you see the steps of translocation. How does translocation takes place? Now in the plants you see, here I have written the points, you can go through the points. So first point, in the plants the carbohydrates are continuously synthesized in the mesophyll cell. During photosynthesis, carbohydrate, that is the glucose, is synthesized. Okay, in the cells, in the mesophyll cells. Now there is a suction pressure. The suction pressure of these cells increases. Why? Because there is water along with the adjoining cells. The water is being absorbed. So as a result, suction pressure increases in these cells. And this suction pressure, because of the suction pressure, it pushes the dissolved food into the sieve tube of the phloem. So in the mesophyll cell, food is synthesized. The suction pressure of the cells increase due to the water which is coming from the adjoining cell, okay, which is absorbed by the mesophyll cell, and due to this increased pressure, the food is pushed to the sieve tube of the phloem. Okay. Next is the food is actively transported. When it is actively transported, you know active transport. Active transport means transport a material against the concentration gradient by spending energy. Now since the food is actively transported, so energy is required. In which form energy is required? In the form of ATP. Okay. Now during this active transport, sieve tubes of the phloem tissues are loaded with large amount of food in the leaf. That is, the source is the leaf. So it is unloaded to the sink. Where is the sink? That is the root. So you can see the food is loaded from the leaf source and unloaded to the sink. That is the root. Clear? So why it is loaded from the leaf to the root? For consumption. Okay, there is the consumption end. Next come the leaves. The leaves are the source. Just now I told you the source is the leaves. So normally the leaves act as a source and the roots act as a storage organ. There is the sink where the extra food is stored. Now but in spring season you see sugar stored in the root or the stem is transported. You know, in the autumn many plants lose their leaves. Okay. And during the spring new leaves arise. So during this period, spring season, as the new leaves are arising from the meristematic zone in the plant, see energy demand or the food is requirement is increased there. So for that food is transported from the root to the apical part of the plant, that is in the meristematic zone for growth. Clear? So these are the main three steps. So here is the step that I have just diagrammatically explained. Here you see the xylem tissue, okay, phloem, adjacent phloem tissue, water is being pushed to the phloem tissue. This is the sieve tube, this is the mesophyll cell, okay, and here you see the companion cell is lying near the sieve tube. These are the sieve tube, the companion cell, mesophyll, and here see it is unloaded to the root, that is the sink. So this is a rough sketch of the translocation of the organic solutes in the plants. Okay. Next, you see, as I told you, during transpiration, lot of water is lost from the leaves. How can you demonstrate it? With the help of an activity. So you can do one activity, that is, you have to take two potted plants of the same, one potted plant and another is, you can place a stick in the pot inside the soil. So take a small well-potted plant, well-watered potted plant having broad leaves. Okay. So why broad leaves? Because so that transpiration rate can be high and you can get lot of water moisture in this poly bag that I have tied here. I have shown here, it is tied here. Okay. So take another pot B. So A pot having a broad-leaved plant, well-watered plant, and the B pot having only a stick. So insert a stick here. You have to take the stick of the same height of the plant. This is a control experiment. Now cover both the pots properly with a polythene bag. Okay. In each pot you have to place one polythene bag on the top and their mouth should be firmly closed. Here you have to firmly close the mouth of the pot with the polythene bag. Why? Because during transpiration, none of the water vapor should escape out in the environment in this case. Okay. Now place both the pots in the bright sunlight for like half an hour, and you observe what happens after half an hour. Now see children, now all of us are in lockdown situation, so we have enough time at home, and some of you might already have some potted plant in your home. You can already do this activity at home, okay, and report me what is the result you are getting. Don't be lazy, get up, get steady, take a potted plant, okay, take an empty pot and a stick, and you can very easily do this activity of your own. In science you need to do activities. Now see, it is not a lab based activity that you need a laboratory and all the apparatus. It's very easy. Everybody has a polythene in the house, and do and report me what you get, okay, what is the result you are getting. So I hope you will get the same result that I am discussing here. So you see, what do you observe? Now drops of water are visible in the setup A, okay, in the polythene, inside the polythene, as you have tightened it properly. But no drops of water will you find in this pot B, as it is only a stick. There is no living cells. Now what can you conclude from this demonstration or from this activity? That water has evaporated from the leaves by the, okay, through the stomatal pore, and has condensed as droplets of the water in the polythene bag. So this is about transpiration activity. So here I have discussed about the transportation in plants. The next topic will be transportation in animal. I am thinking to make another video for transportation of animal. It will be a very lengthy portion. So better you, as I told you earlier, study in chunks, small units, okay, topics and subtopics. So go through transportation in plants, watch my video, okay, open your NCERT book and other books if you have, practice the diagram, okay, this type of diagram you can practice, and you remember the keywords of this transportation: ascent of sap, okay, then mesophyll cell, seep tube, suction pool, suction pressure. All these terms are very important. So go through each and every point described in your book and utilize your time by doing this activity as I have mentioned here in the topic.